Hello, and welcome to The Short Take with me, Jake, your host, and my co-host, Alex.
Yeah.
How are we doing this week?
Well, I feel like if I say you're just going to move on,
Yeah, so you should probably just say you're fine.
I guess I could say I'm fine. I don't
Cool.
know.
Great. I hear that you're back at uni.
Yeah, I'm back at uni.
Is that what's making you sad?
No, I was sad before. You don't
Okay.
listen every week.
So,
I tell you I'm
episode
sad.
We're on episode 17 now. Episode 17, and Alex picked this week.
You did?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You know something?
What?
I don't actually think we've ever said how this podcast works as a format.
What do you mean?
So obviously, I think we've said quite a few times that we pick alternately.
Yeah.
But we've not said that whoever hasn't picked is watching it for the first time.
I feel like it's implied though.
Possibly,
Nearly
yeah.
every time we've been like, yeah, when I first watched it, or something like that.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
true.
like...
We've never said it.
That's because we don't treat our audience like idiots.
Well, I'm treating them like idiots right now. Do you want to give us a ditty, or are you giving up on that?
What do you mean giving up on it? How could I give up on it? I've pre-recorded it and you play it every week.
You might have deleted it, I don't know. I don't know your life.
Oh, okay, let me get out my...
Such a loud noise.
It's a cassette player.
I got that. I can see
Uh,
it.
Sorry, it's
It's
just...
very real.
As you're looking at the back of it, I thought maybe you thought it was a radio. It's also a radio.
Oh, okay.
Let me hit play. It's a short take. It's a short take. It's a short take with Alex Attack.
Jesus Christ.
Now do you think I'm giving up on the ditties?
That was a journey.
Yeah, I'm looking
Oh,
at
wow.
the sound bars.
Yeah, they're quite high.
Have
Yeah.
fun with that.
You gonna put your cassette player away now? Thank you.
How would they have heard that?
They heard me say thank you.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's gone now, and I like it when the table's clear, which is
Yeah.
nice. So this week...
They didn't know we were on a table.
What?
Think about it. We never told them we're on a table.
Jake and Alex on a table? It's actually Jake's table.
Debunk it. We're big shots now. We have
We
a
are.
table.
Ooh, and we share a microphone because Alex is broke.
Yeah, maybe.
So this week, we watched a film picked by Alex called Three Kings. Yeah,
That's what it's called.
that is what it's called.
It's definitely called that.
It's also the name of a film, isn't it?
It is the name of the film.
Struggle
Starring
to find it.
George Clooney, Anthony Mackie. Not Anthony Mackie. Oh my god. George Clooney. Cut that. George Clooney. Starring George Clooney.
Anthony Mackie? Is that what you said?
No! It's a film. Three Kings is a film starring George Clooney, Mark Wahlberg, and Ice Cube.
Sorry, I thought you said Anthony Mackie.
No, I didn't. Oh! No, so it's a film set in the Gulf War where three soldiers try and they find out there's a bunch of gold that this guy has and they steal it because they're like, fuck this, and they break the
I've heard of
rules.
that.
It's a good film. It's a fun film. It's
Completely
not this
unrelated.
film.
No, completely unrelated
Yeah,
to this.
it's not completely unrelated. Same title.
What?
Otherwise, completely unrelated.
Yes. No, George Clooney's in this. Did you not see him? Do you know who else was in this?
Who?
Anthony Mackie.
What?
That's
When?
a nice crossover that they had.
I knew it. What's the synopsis?
So, the synopsis that what did you call it? YouTubby.
Yeah, you, Tubby.
YouTubby gave us. Two metalhead teen outcasts play what they think is just another paranormal game. Instead, they find themselves confronted with their past trauma and grief as the game turns out to be a powerfully dark ritual.
Ooh.
Freaky.
Do you want to know my Alex synopsis?
First of all, yes.
Second of all.
Second of all, it was 18 minutes.
It was 18
It
minutes.
was the longest one we've watched so far.
Is it the longest one?
I think so.
Okay, let me do my Alex synopsis.
You know what? It's longer than
What?
Bus Stop.
Oh my god, that's impressive.
It's
because
impressive.
this didn't feel as long as Bus Stop.
It did not.
Nothing feels as long as Bus Stop. Like waiting for a bus forever. The Alex synopsis for Three Kings is somebody saw Hereditary.
I've not seen Hereditary.
It's not you then.
No, it's not me. I wasn't in this film.
It's not super like Hereditary vibes though. Just has vibes.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's a fair assessment. This is just vibes.
I do want to watch it.
You should. It's a very
Yeah,
good film.
I will.
So, initial reactions.
Initial reactions, I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah?
I enjoyed a lot of it. I've got a couple of things that I think
Same, I think.
stand out to
Yeah.
me, both good and bad. But yeah, I thought it was really interesting.
Yeah.
I thought it carried itself very well. It kind of stuck to what it was trying to be pretty well. It was, I guess, like shot, and most of the editing was good.
Yeah.
The shooting was good. It did commit the cardinal sin
What
of
is it?
short films. Put the credits at the start.
Well, you say credits at the start.
It was very short. I will give it that.
It had a title. Do you mean just the title?
No, it had credits.
It had but only a few. Because
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
just, I think it just said written, directed by...
No, it had like a couple of cast members and then written.
Oh, you're
directed,
right. It did.
And
it
then
did.
it said the title,
Yeah.
which I didn't mind too much, but it is like a thing that people say is a faux pas.
Yeah.
To not
I will
do.
come back to that because I think...
But I think it worked because
there's
of the.
Yeah.
It's a what's the word? It's the prestige thing. Show the ending at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. So it was fine. It worked. It didn't annoy
Yeah.
me or anything. It was just like it's a thing that
sounded like it did. So
Yeah. It's just a thing some people say they don't like in
Yeah,
these,
yeah,
so it's like to be careful with, I guess. But I think they pulled it off, so
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know what
really
you
a
mean.
criticism at all, to be honest.
yeah. No, I get it though.
Yeah. This is their first film. Well, their first film on
Okay,
this channel.
so basically, the lead actor in it is also the writer director.
Was he?
Yes, James
Okay.
DeAngelis.
Okay. So the guy who dies first.
Yes.
Okay.
I followed him on YouTube for a while. He's part of a comedy group called Sugar Pine 7, who are
think
very
you told me
funny.
about these
Yeah,
people.
they're pretty funny. It was a whole thing a while ago. They did make a short film while they were doing that. That was also a horror.
Okay.
It's not amazing. Maybe worth watching at some point. It's kind of interesting because it's like it kind of feels like it looks like it was very fun to make, and they made it very well technically.
Right.
But I think there's a lot of stuff in it that just doesn't work.
Right.
But so this is his first short film he's written and directed. I think he wrote Some of the Woods, and he's in that.
Okay.
But this film is first written and directed. It was crowdfunded on Indiegogo,
Oh, that's fun.
and it was £7,000 apparently, roughly. They had
Okay,
a
so-
flexible goal. They were aiming for 13,000.
So that's somewhere in the middle of
Yeah,
the ones we've been watching.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think he's a very good director, especially for like a second short.
Yeah.
Like,
it's very good. It's
very good.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think his acting's not amazing, but also not terrible. I think maybe it's just because he's the lead that he has to.
Yeah.
It feels like maybe he's not strong enough to carry the film.
My favorite thing about this film is
Yeah.
the first 3 minutes.
That's very interesting because I'm the complete opposite.
Really?
Yes.
I think we're probably going to have the same opinion, but the other way round.
which is interesting.
So because the first act was so strong, I was really expecting a certain story, and then it did something else.
I think you're totally right. I think the first act
the
really
other way round,
throws
right?
you off.
Yeah, you're going to be like, the first act doesn't fit with the rest of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that is kind of what it is. I don't know. It doesn't not fit. I think one of the weakest parts of the film in general is some of the writing isn't super strong.
Yes,
and I think
100%.
there's a lot of stuff that, obviously being 18 minutes, and it is doing a lot in 18 minutes to give it credit.
Yeah.
I think some of the stuff needs to be more concise, but at the same time more naturalistic. And it feels like obviously there's the whole sequence of us. A lot of this film is exposition as to what the fuck is happening, because it's
Yeah,
all
yeah,
about
it is.
this specific
It's a ritual, isn't it? And you need to know what's going on.
Yeah, and I think they
Yeah.
do set up the rules enough that when the ritual's happening, you're like, oh, okay, I get it, and I
Yeah.
get what's going on, and I get that the fan behind him not looking at him is an issue, and blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
they do set it up. I think the dialogue to set it up could be a lot better.
It definitely
When
could.
you're, especially when you're only doing exposition, you need to hide it really well.
Exposition was it was probably 4 minutes of the film, which
Yeah.
is nearly a quarter.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Nearly
a lot.
quarter of the film is exposition. That's
And it needs to be, but just
Yeah.
done better.
You just need to hide it a little bit better.
Yeah, and there's a couple of bits where one bit that really gets me in a really dumb way, and I think it's just because it's basically there's the bit where they turn up and he's like, this junk, and then they have the shot where he pushes up a mirror and it reveals James stood behind him.
Oh, and he
the
says
other
a
guy.
line.
And then he says a line. But I think the problem is he says the line really jarringly compared to the rest of his performance in that scene.
I picked up on that exact shot.
It's really annoying. But it's a good shot. But I feel that's the problem. They were like, we need this shot, and we did the take wrong.
My issue with it as well is similar thing.
It's the editing, maybe more so.
There's too much of a pause. Between the two lines because he interrupts the other guy, but he doesn't interrupt him. It's like a solid 2 seconds
they're waiting for him to push the mirror
exactly.
Up. They should have just cut to him mid pushing the mirror up. It wouldn't have mattered.
Or just push, like, because you don't even see his face. Just pull the audio forward.
That's what I was just thinking. And just cut to it.
Yeah,
it's a weird moment.
Very
but
weird.
I also think his performance in that bit, it feels like it was filmed on a different day because he goes like, he says like, "This is it," and he's like, "All this stuff." I think that's the mirror. And then he goes, "Who gives a shit, man?
Yeah.
We need this stuff." And then it cuts to him getting up and goes, "Okay, what do we do?" "Well, we do this." And it's like, wait, what? Like, it's just really different to the rest of the performance. So it feels like an inserted shot.
Yeah, I can see what you mean, yeah.
I do think it's shot really well.
I think
like you can
really
tell
good.
because as far as I can tell, he got together a group of people who have all kind of worked in the industry in different ways. Okay. So none of them are like amateur, right. But they're just not big. Yeah, it's really well shot by them. Like, I can't think of any shots in it that aren't like really good. Like, I feel like even when like the editing doesn't like help it, I think the shots themselves are good. Like, it always looks good.
Yes, I can agree with that. When they were doing the walk,
that's
even though it's like there's no story or anything happening. It just looks cool.
I think that is a good like sequence because it is giving you the characters and stuff.
Yes, 100%.
Like I think it does work, and there are some great shots in there. I mean, the one of them come around the corner, and then you have the bit of the mirror, like the whatever they call them. What do they call those? Like fisheye mirrors.
Oh, when you go around a bend.
It's because
I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
it's like
there's a great shot, one
mirror.
of those.
I don't know.
There's some really great shots of mirrors in general, because obviously one of the main things is the two mirrors in front of them.
Yeah.
There's a really good shot of Edgar stood in front of the mirror, and then what is the other character called? It's
no
James
idea.
To me, because like I know the director, James, and Edgar. So James is like, you can see him in the mirror, so it frames it so you can see the two of them.
Yeah.
I just think it's a really cool little shot, because I didn't need to do that, but it works. I think the core concept's really interesting as well. I haven't seen that before.
This came out a month ago, right?
Yes.
Do you think they stole anything from Everything Everywhere?
They've been doing this for a while.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, there's no way. They've been doing this for a while, I know they have.
Okay, fair enough. Their first teaser was 10 months ago.
Yeah.
So they'd already...
They started this like company, quote unquote, in 2021.
Okay.
And like, I'm pretty sure they've been planning to make this is their first short. They've been planning to do this for
ages.
That's
fair enough. Yeah.
I think the concept itself is really strong, but I think like again, the writing isn't great.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cool visual effects and like cool horror-y imagery. I like the bit with the mum in the field, where she sat there and then the face overlays over it.
Because that was a dream sequence, right?
Yes.
That was much better than the actual...
I totally agree, yeah.
They did.
Nothing got
that.
as scary as that. But then I will say, I do think the sequence in which he's sitting in the chair and, like, you don't see the mirrors. And there's tiny details, like the fact that, like, when the mirror talks and then it cuts to them... I like the way they never show the mirrors fully when it's happening. They only show parts of it.
Yeah.
I like the fact it shows a part of the mirror and then, like, obviously someone hitting the back of it so that when it talks, it, like, shakes. And you see the dust coming off it. That's such a cool effect. Like,
that was fun.
It's really clever. And the bit where it kind of... you are in his POV and you start to look at the mirror and you see like the dad and like
you
his
see his
jacket,
he's wearing like
overalls,
a car maintenance kind of
exactly, and then he looks away again. And then I do really like the weird shot where like when he does finally look at it and then it's from behind and the mirror,
so you still can't see it,
and the mirror's coming towards, like you see the mirror moving. And the same with Edgar again. I thought that was really cool. And then again, like we said, I like the fact that it does the end as the beginning as the end. Like it turns out that broken mirror we were looking at, that's the finale. He dies because of that. I think it's like it's really solid in terms of ideas.
There's a lot of ideas floating around.
I think the script needed massively tidying up.
So my kind of the first act of this film, when they're in the bedroom, sets up such, like, I think we've spoken about you can tidy up the script still, but going with the idea that they had sets up quite strong characters, I think. So like in your friend's bedroom with their abusive dad, and you're having the ghoul to stand up to him kind of thing, like stare him down. So kind of having that level of confidence
Yeah.
with someone you don't really know.
Yeah.
And then also the other character kind of being very intimidated by his dad. I mean, it's a very classic stereotype, isn't it? But like, it works, it's fine.
100%.
And then also him saying like, why did you do that? Like, you get to go home.
Yeah, like
And
it's
kind of
not
like,
a brave thing. It's like a dumb thing.
It's like, yeah, there's obviously some bravery to it, I guess.
Yeah,
but
like
ultimately he's making his friend's life worse.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a dick
Which
move.
sets up basically the end of the film, arguably.
It kind of does, yeah. It sets up really good characters, I think.
No, you're 100% right.
And the idea, I thought that they were going to do something with the dad, maybe. I kind of like the idea that they steer away from that, do something else. But, I don't know, it just set something up in my mind.
I think for me, it needed a bit more of, like, skepticism about the ritual. I think it needed, like, either... I feel like, actually both. I think it needed, like... Edgar to be like, this is stupid, and it needed James's character to be like, let's just do it. Let's see what happens. And then, like, not fully being
once
thingy. And then when it starts happening, then have them be like, oh my god, it's happening. Like, have him be there and be like, Edgar, it's working. It's working. Like, it just feels unbelievable, and it makes it a bit weirder that he's just, like, immediately like, yeah, no, this is what I was planning.
Yeah, and Edgar just goes and sits in the other room, and he's, like, subbed for the rest of the film, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel like...
I think kind of like playing on what you're saying, the reason the first act works for me so well is because there's conflict. There is actually conflict there, like
I see what
with
you're
the dad
saying.
and everything.
You're
Once
right.
they leave that, Edgar just kind of, he's like,
And I think that's
let's
the
do
thing
that.
with just having Edgar go along with it rather than him being skeptical
he's
or anything.
got to like put up a fight with it.
Yeah.
But then maybe you could make it really like, he's so against it, and then he starts to hear his mum, and that's when he like starts to get pulled into it, and then maybe at this point James has realised it's not a good idea, and they switch positions, and Edgar really wants to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I see what you mean.
You could play with those ideas of
100%.
like with the conflict and everything in there. It's all there. You know, you just need to kind of do another pass at the script, really.
Yeah, I think that is the only thing I have with it. I think otherwise, I think
pretty
it's
good.
Really well shot. I think that, again, there's a couple of editing things, not massively. I think the soundtrack's worth talking about as well. The soundtrack's really good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's all original music.
Oh, that's fun. That's cool.
And like, I really like they went for that like metal vibe and like.
It works, doesn't it? Like,
it just fits it. Like,
as soon as because. Like when they start mentioning supernaturally stuff, you're like, well, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It makes sense that two characters like
Yeah.
into heavy metal are like into that.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
It's supposed to be set in the 90s. I kind of got that from the videotapes, but otherwise...
Yeah, otherwise not really.
Yeah, I mean, but there's no
Videotapes
reason...
is like a... I feel like they're coming back, isn't
Exactly. It felt like it could take place now with just people who are like into that shit.
Also, small note, really loved the alarm, the timer.
That is really cool.
When he, like,
I've
pulls
never
it and
seen
flicks
that
the
thing
switch.
before.
Love
Like,
that.
that's really cool.
Yeah,
What a find.
very fun prop.
Where would you... does it beat... What's your top one?
Hero 2013.
Hero, that's it. 2013.
I don't know. I think it earns its 18 minutes.
Yeah.
Pretty much. But I don't know. It's hard because it's really good.
Okay, interesting.
I don't think so.
No?
I would put it around top 5 though.
That's
Maybe.
cool. Yeah?
I don't know.
That's
I have
really
to do some introspective thinking.
I think I have it up there. I think it definitely doesn't beat Tickle Monster for me. Again, it's just that case of Tickle Monster only being 3 minutes. Can you believe it's only 3 minutes?
3 minutes.
If you went on YouTube, the YouTube video right now, and you looked, it would be 3 minutes long.
Nearly as long as our podcast on it.
Yeah. I think like the amount it does in that time so perfectly is still yet to be beaten. But I think this definitely is up there, and I think partially it's because it's like it's not a super professional production. You can see there's people who just really wanted to make a film, and they got to make it, and something really good came out of it. And I think really shines through it, which I like. Yeah,
no, it's got that kind of underdog vibe to it, and I love that. I love that kind of stuff.
So earlier when you were saying about the views as well, that's why I was like,
that's why it's got so many,
because he has some sort of established, he himself, like I wouldn't say the group, but like he himself has some sort of established fan base. But even then, I think like considering, it's kind of impressive because it is not the same thing he was doing. He was doing comedy stuff.
Yeah, it's a
so
very
like to
big...
come over and do like a horror. Yeah. And like I said, he has done a horror short before, but to do like a very specific horror and it's like actually good compared to the woods, I think like is really impressive.
Yeah, no, it's very impressive. Yeah,
Yeah.
to do such a shift in what you're doing, it's very impressive. And to come out with this on, I guess, your second attempt or first.
I'd say he's been filming stuff for ages and like perfecting that, but like still to make your second short film and first technically being written directed, like it's impressive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can kind of see it, can't you? Like the cinematography and the camera work is really good, which is what you're saying he could do before.
Yeah.
It's just the editing and the writing, which is, I guess, one of his first forays.
Yeah,
it's could do with a little bit of work, but
100%.
to be honest, it's
Still
like
not
it's
terrible.
not bad at all.
100%.
It's not missing much. But yeah, I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
I think you do a ditty if we're done.
Oh
Got
yeah.
No thoughts. No thoughts. Head empty.
Okay.
We've put them all into the podcast.
1 second, wait.
Oh yeah, getting the tape recorder back out. Such a loud noise again. What are you doing? Rewinding the one you just did?
Fast forwarding it.
Through what?
It's none of your business. It's my cassette tape.
I'm so interested. Is it more
Doesn't
Boris and
matter.
Johnson?
No. Oh, it's a short take with Alex and Jake. Oh, I'm Bob Dylan, and I support the pod. Thank you very much.
Thank you for putting it away.
Thank you for acknowledging it.
At the very start there, I really thought you were going to do that horrible guy from Dune. You know the bit where he's like on the prison planet?
I
the
barely
horrible,
remember
throat
it.
singing stuff.
Oh, I think I remember
Remember that guy?
Yeah,
that.
I'll do that next time. Thank you for reminding me.
Please don't. Thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
People out there.
Yeah, all of them. Sorry for making you watch Bus Stop last week.
The guy actually left a comment
I know.
on our video. That's our first comment on YouTube. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. Visceral anger gets reactions. Mostly from the people that directed that. You won't see us next week, but we'll see you.
No, you'll hear us next week.
You'll hear us next week,
but
but we'll see you.
Good times.
Do you want to say bye, Mia?
Well done.
There you go. Good job.
All our socials will be linked below and the film, so go check it out. And we'll see you next time with another short take.
Whoa, how short could it be?
Shorter than this one.
Ooh.
Bye.